Hi everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of the Wildcat Ready Curriculum Vitae video tutorial. Again, my name is Dalton Langdon, Career Advisor for Science and Pre-Health students, and today we are going to cover the organization of your CV. Now, before we can ever get into the creation of a CV, we first need to start with the foundation. And this can be broken down into 4 basic steps. You have word vomit, application analysis, organization of experiences, and content creation. Now, the first step is word vomit, getting your experiences down on paper and essentially out of your head. I recommend opening a blank Word document and start listing out all the things that you've been a part of since being at Davidson. Now, if you're a junior, you're only going to want to list the things that you've participated in while being at Davidson. However, if you're still in your first and your second year, it's okay to pull experiences from high school. Now, when listing out your experiences, try to summarize what you've accomplished or what you're currently doing for each one. This will help later when we move on to step 4. The second step is application analysis. Why are you writing this CV and who is your audience? If you're applying to a specific research position, graduate program, or grant, you want to make sure that you've read through the application materials thoroughly and have analyzed the description for keywords and themes. You will use this information later when organizing and creating different section headers for your CV. Now, on the other hand, if you're really not in the process of applying to anything and you just want to have a CV just to have a CV, I recommend creating what's called a master CV, where the order and the CV composition, they matter a bit less. You're really just trying to get everything together. Now, the third step is the organization of your different experiences. So here you're utilizing the information gleaned from step 2 for you to begin strategically organizing your experiences into such a way that you have relevant section headers with the most important information situated towards the top of your CV. So some common CV headings that you might see, of course, you're going to have your name and your contact information and your header at the top. And then education is always going to be first. So then within education, you may have some subcategories like your capstone or your thesis, title, or topic. You might have your education, you may have study abroad, all situated underneath your education section. You might even have fellowships and awards and honors as well. But then moving past that point, you may have research experience, teaching experience that you've had, laboratory experience. Those would all be in their own separate category, depending on how much experience within those 3 categories that you have. And then you may have professional experiences, so experiences that you've gained through industry or through government. You might even have some volunteer experiences under there too. It really just depends on the composition that you're trying to create and the audience and their intended purpose there. You will also have presentations and publications too. So these are just a few of the common CV headings that you might have. Some additional ones, you may have a skills section. This could be really helpful if you're trying to list out languages that you're familiar with, lab instruments that you're familiar with, computer programs, listing out different professional associations that you're a part of. Your leadership and campus involvement is really important. If you're applying to different graduate school programs or different fellowships, you may have areas of research interest, areas of expertise, things that you're interested in, like professional association memberships, hobbies, personal interests. You might have those things up there. Honestly, it all depends. Which moves us into our last and final step, the 4th step, which focuses on content creation. You really want to give life to your experiences. You want to show me, don't tell me. Okay? Take the content summary that you created in step 1 and really begin to finesse it. So you want to think in terms of context, scope, and impact. You don't want to have really high level, vague bullet points that don't really mean anything. For example, tutored students after school. That's a very vague, high level, generalized statement. It doesn't really give anyone much information on what it actually you did with that experience. So you want to start by contextualizing the statement. What were you tutoring them in might be a question that you ask yourself. And then start to add in layers of scope. How many students did you tutor? How many days a week? How long? And lastly, try to add in impact. What skills did you learn or competencies did you develop? So if you add in all three of those things together, your bullet point might sound something like this. Enhanced knowledge of the subject and developed interpersonal skills by tutoring 3 high school students twice weekly in chemistry. So you've just taken a very boring, high level statement and you've turned it into a finessed, well thought out bullet point that really expresses all of the information. So that's kind of what you want to strive for. Now, not every bullet point that you do is going to contain all three, but if you try to layer and build onto your bullet points, that's when you're really going to get a very comprehensive sort of bullet point that has everything that it needs to have. So that pretty much sums up video part 2. Thank you for joining us. In part 3, I'm going to discuss individual sections and go a little bit more in depth on how you actually need to go about formatting your CV. We'll be including some different examples and showcasing what these different sections could actually look like. So stay tuned for part 3, and thanks for watching.